What's up, everyone? This is Tim from TimPlaysAGame, here with 10 tips for race mode in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch. Are you having trouble getting first place in Grand Prix mode? Do you want to do better in online races and tournaments? If the answer is yes and yes, then this video is for you. Follow these 10 simple tips and you'll be getting more gold than in the new Super Mario Bros. 2. Let's get started with tip number 1. Speed is key. If you're looking at the stats of your character and vehicle, you're going to want to focus on speed. Be wary though. The more speed your character has, the more you sacrifice with other stats. For instance, less accurate and more weight will make it difficult for your kart to get back up to speed should you get hit. Also, less traction and handling will make it difficult to negotiate the turns. The speediest characters in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are Wario, Dry Bowser, Waluigi, Donkey Kong, and Roy, just to name a few, but they require some serious skill to use effectively. Tip number 2. Rocket start to gain an early lead. The best way to win a race is to get an early lead and keep it up. Using a rocket start when the race begins is an effective way to get this early lead. When Lakitu is counting down to the start of the race, start accelerating just as the 2 appears without transparency. This will produce the longest rocket start and maybe rocket you into first place to start the race. Tip number 3. Grab the double item boxes and coins whenever possible. Coins actually increase your speed, so try to gather the maximum 10 coins as soon as you can. Item boxes give you items which can be used to help you, so having items is always good. I strongly suggest grabbing the double item boxes whenever you can. Even if you don't need them, you can at least make sure the person directly behind you doesn't grab them. Tip number 4. Drifting, mini turbos, and jump boosts are essential. Drifting is an important tactic to learn and master to make turns without losing speed. Drifting long enough can produce a mini turbo boost. Drifting even longer can produce a super or ultra mini turbo for an even longer boost. Jump boost can be used by hitting the R button after going over a ramp or a ramp-like platform and will give you a brief speed boost when landing. Every little boost counts and will help you gain and keep the lead. Tip number 5. Draft and spin boost often. Beware of traps. Drafting is essential to pass players who match your speed. Simply drive directly behind them, and you can slingshot yourself around them when you see win streaks speeding around you. Spin boosting requires you to be in an anti-gravity zone. By colliding with an opponent, you and your opponent will spin around and get a brief speed boost. Be careful when using these tactics, as players like to hold banana peels and shells behind them. Colliding with these items will stop you in your tracks. Tip number 6. Look behind you often. This really goes without saying, but it's always smart to have eyes in the back of your head. Press the X button briefly to take a peek behind you to see what your opponents are up to. This is a great strategy to help you keep the lead. Tip number 7. Look for shortcuts. Every stage has shortcuts, speed boosts, and alternate routes you can take to give you an advantage in a race. Some may require you to go off course and use a mushroom to be effective. Keep an eye out on each and every stage, looking for possible shortcuts to be used in future races. Tip number 8. Don't hold on to items for too long. Holding on to items to be used at the right time is a good strategy, but remember these items can be taken from you with lightning and a new item called Boo. This ghost will make you temporarily ghostly, allowing you to pass through bananas and shells and steal an item from an opponent. You can hold your items for as long as you want, but you are a prime target to lose your items to Boo if you're in first place. Tip number 9. Don't be ashamed to use auto acceleration and smart steering. 2 new features added to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are smart steering, which prevents you from falling off the course, and auto acceleration, which allows your vehicle to accelerate automatically without holding the A button. Though these features are made for beginner level players, don't feel guilty for using them until you get better. In fact, using auto acceleration is considered by some to be a pro move. Using smart steering has one drawback in that it prevents you from using the Ultra Mini Turbo. And finally, tip number 10, practice on time trial. You know the old adage, practice makes perfect. This is no different. If you want to get better at racing on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you're going to have to play often. Time trials are a great way to get better at specific racetracks. You are even given 3 mushrooms to use how you see fit. This is not only a great way to get used to the tracks, but also to find shortcuts and alternate routes that may give you an advantage in the races. This has been 10 tips for race mode in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch. If you have any more questions or tips for me, feel free to post them in the comments section below. As always, I want to thank you all for watching. This is Tim from TimPlaysAGame signing off, and good night.